I once had an experience on Facebook where I commented on a post that was not political, and then someone came and responded, Imabatonga. Then I was like, I'm actually Bemba. And they were like, why are you claiming to be Bemba?
Do you remember the moment that you came up with the idea for writing roots?
So I thought about something that resonated with me, and that thing was tribalism. I'm Bemba, but I have a Tonga mother, so my name is Moono. So a lot of people assume I'm Tonga. And because of that, I used to experience a lot of tribalism, which my brother, whose name is Chungu, it's the complete opposite.
His experience was different.
Yes. Yeah. So I wanted to highlight what tribalism was, but also highlight the fact that in Zambia, first of all, our roots are rooted in one Zambia, one nation, and all of these things that Kaunda founded the nation on. So I wanted to highlight my experiences with tribalism and other people's experiences as well, and also just ultimately encourage people to embrace being one Zambia, one nation.
When it comes to social media and communication, what's that one challenge people mostly overlook?
It's two things. So the first is that people think when you do social media, all you do is post and then you log off.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is they think that's all you do. So now they dumb down your work. But then the reality is you're working with how the public perceives the company. And it's understanding how to display the organization in the best possible way while managing how people perceive it, making sure you don't get negativity and things like that. It's a lot of work.
How would you encourage somebody that's just coming up and wants to be in media or communication?
I would encourage them to be authentic. Be yourself and make sure you have someone who at least has your back to guide you. I think that's what's helped me a lot in my career, is having people who see your potential and see the good in you and encouraging you along the way. Don't try to copy what other people are doing because people will know. So just be yourself and find what your story is and make sure you tell your story in the best way that you can.
You have to leave a note.
Oh, nice. And we could take a picture for my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So you've had all these guests?
Yes, I've had all these guests. So before we dive into the conversation, a quick reminder. Most of you are watching without subscribing. So if this podcast adds value to you, press that subscribe button, leave a comment, or share it with somebody who might benefit from this conversation. It helps us grow the Duwit community, and it also makes sure you don't miss the next conversation. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Really glad to have you. I've been following your work for a while on LinkedIn. That's why I first saw your work, and I'm really impressed by your writing. And when I was choosing the questions, there was so much that I could ask you. So it was really difficult to nail down the question that I was going to ask you. There's a lot that you have and the content that you have. How's your day going? Before we go anywhere.
It's okay. I rested a lot, it being a Saturday. So it's great. I like days when I can rest.
Days when you can sleep, right? Yeah, so I like to take it back. What was it like growing up and what were your interests?
I really liked drawing. I love drawing, writing, and acting. So yeah, I'm a big family person. So a lot of my childhood was influenced by my parents, my brother, my cousins who are siblings to me.
Were you in the house, you're writing, or out with friends playing?
No. Well, sometimes I was out with my family playing most of the time. My cousins would come over for holidays and things like that. But yes, I would write in the house every day. Literally, at some point when my parents opened my email, I would send my parents an email every day. And before that, I would write my mom either a letter every day or draw her every day. So she would come back and be like, oh, look, I drew you. That must have been frustrating for her. But I'm sure maybe it was cute. I don't know.
How old were you when you sent
5.
5? You were sending emails?
No. The emails started when I was about 8. I think that's when my parents opened my email. But before that, I would literally come, just write or draw. And then,
Where do you think that comes from? Mom or dad or anybody in the family?
None, actually. Because, so my parents are both accountants. My dad was an accountant. And they were also both into sciences as well. I'm not. So I don't know where it comes from, but I've been creative since I was a kid.
Oh yeah, drawing and all that. Do you still draw?
No.
Yeah.
Because of work, no. There's no time.
There's no time?
Yeah. No.
So when last did you draw?
Probably when I drew my book cover. So in university. Yeah.
So of course that's where your love for storytelling and communication came from, right?
Yeah.
And were you supported in that journey?
Yeah, I was.
You were doing that?
I really was. I was really supported. But I think the storytelling was also part of school, because the primary school I went to, we had 6 subjects for English. So spelling, composition, grammar, blah, blah, blah. And one of those subjects encouraged us to write stories. So I used to write a lot of stories then. And even when I went into high school, we didn't have to write as much, but I would always write like once a week or more, and I would give my teachers, so they always had extra work to mark for me. And sometimes I would read my stories in assembly. So yeah, it started when I was much younger, but it carried on.
So how was like your performance in school? Like were the teachers concerned like you write too much or?
No, not really. They're not concerned. I think they encouraged the writing because in fact, those were my top subjects, English and English literature. But my performance in school was not great. I was a very playful student. So I only focused on things I liked. Like I used to draw in class and things like that. But I think I turned out okay, I guess. But yeah, no, my writing was very encouraged. My writing, even my acting was encouraged. Like even my teachers used to tell my parents like, oh, there's this really great school, this university you should take her to. And obviously my parents are African, so they'll come and watch the plays. But
no, you're not gonna do this.
No, yeah, my dad actually said to me when I told him I wanted to be an actress, he said, okay, you first get a degree, and then if you want to act after that, you can do it.
Yeah.
And initially I thought, okay, is he lying and just really trying to tell me go this direction? But when I actually did graduate and I wanted to audition for stuff, he would actually take me to do my makeup and then take me to the auditions as well. So
of course, now you went through school and all that. Now grade 12, you wrote to grade 12 exam. What was the conversation like for you to go to uni?
So actually I decided in grade 10 what I was going to study. So again, this was like a midlife. Is it midlife? No. Like it was a crisis I was going through. Initially, I wanted to be an accountant because both my parents being accountants. And then when I started studying accounts, I didn't like it. So that's when I said, okay, I want to be an actress. And then they were like, no, study something else. So then in the search for what to do, my principal at the time, her name was Miss Davis. She then said, I think you'd make a great journalist because you love writing, you love speaking in public and things like that. So I think you should study at Rhodes University, which is the best university for journalism in Africa. So it was decided then. And my parents did their own research. Rhodes University was what they then said, okay, this is the goal. So when I finished grade 12, I already knew I had to go into A-levels. So I took a bit of a gap year, not the whole year. I took a few months off and then I went to A-levels. And then after A-levels, I had a bit of a gap year before university.
That must be nice to decide where you're going to study in grade 10. Yeah, I mean, it's rare for most people to decide, okay, I'm going to study this. Like for me, it was really difficult.
Yeah.
Do you still want to act or?
No. No.
You're no longer interested?
When I saw what the acting industry was like in Zambia, I don't know if it was for me.
Yeah.
And I also used to have the notion that I could act, be a journalist, be what. Everything. I don't know if I could manage, to be honest. So if opportunity came and it was great, maybe, but I like the space I'm in right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the creative field in general is not like as big as compared to other countries in Zambia. I think that's the more reason why we need to spearhead it and talk about it more, bring out people who are in it more. I think that will get a lot of people involved.
Yeah, true,
people at the top to be involved. So now looking back, like what is like the boldest career decision that you ever made?
I didn't make it. My parents did, but it's influenced me. So when I finished grade 12, my parents decided that if I really did want to study journalism, I should speak to journalists just to see what the industry is like and see if I really want to do it before I go into uni. So I spoke to 2 journalists at the time. And obviously then I decided, yeah, actually I want to do this. But after A-levels, I had 6 months between finishing A-levels and going to university. So my parents said, you know what, instead of just sitting at home, go and work. So my parents then signed me up with the post. I applied, I got the internship, and that was the best decision ever because number one, I have had a lot of experience because I started working so young. And secondly, if I had waited until I finished university, I would have never worked for the post because they closed when I was in my second year, I think.
Yeah.
So I got the privilege to work for to get my dream job, and it was amazing. I was about to say my best job, probably. Yeah. It was the best experience I've had professionally. Yeah.
So of all the industries that you worked in now, which one has challenged you the most?
All of them, because with journalism, that's a challenge on its own. Literally, at any point, you could be struggling for your life if a cadre attacks you, That was a challenge. With telecoms, I was challenged when I started out in Vodafone Jump, and then I was promoted into marketing when I graduated. And the role that I was promoted into, I still don't know if I was fit for that role. But the person who poached me then, a gentleman called Mukuka Mulenga, who I attribute my career in marketing to, he was very helpful. So obviously I was able to sustain myself in that role. And then I moved into advertising, and that role was probably, if I'm being honest, maybe that's the most challenging role I've ever held, because I had 3 clients. Each of those clients had several accounts, and I was managing all of those accounts, just me, one person.
Yeah.
And I was highly underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot, but it's been the one job that I'll say has influenced me so much. Without that job, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one. And then I moved into tertiary education, and that job was challenging in that it was fun. But then if I ever, I remember this one time graduation was coming, and there was a student who then texted me and said, Moono, grad is coming. Why aren't you posting? So I knew I can't lose my step. I need to always be on top of my game. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, this guy, Isaac, would text me, Moono, where's the content, Yeah. So just knowing that the students loved my work and that I needed to put it out there was a great challenge. And my current role is challenging in that I'm new in it, and it's also a whole different industry. It's healthcare. Mm-hmm. So now trying to figure out how to sell a product to people just to make sure that they're healthy and well. And yeah, it's a challenge on its own, but it's a great challenge. I love a good challenge.
Overall, you can say it's been fun so far.
It's been great.
Challenging, but fun.
Yes.
Because there's that type of work which is challenging, but at the same time, it drains you. You don't go anywhere. But there are those that are challenging, but at the same time, you're enjoying it.
Yes.
And they're just every day, just okay, let's do this again. Yes. After some rest, I'm going to do this again.
Definitely.
When it comes to social media and communication, what's that one challenge people mostly overlook?
Yeah. So it's 2 things. So the first is that people think when you do social media, all you do is post and then you log off.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is they think that's all you do. Mm-hmm. So now they dumb down your work. But then the reality is you're working with how the public perceives the company. So for me right now, I work in communications as well. And it's understanding how to display the organization in the best possible way while managing how people perceive it, making sure you don't get negativity and things like that. It's a lot of work. And it being a lot of work, and like I said, I studied at the best university for what I'm doing. And then people dumbing down your job too. You just post and you log off.
Yeah.
And yet you spend your day, even the weekend I'm working, So I think that's the biggest challenge is people dumbing down what you actually do and thinking you don't actually bring much to the table.
Yeah. I think I've experienced that too. I think almost everything in the creative industry and communication as well. Yeah. I think even at work, I also receive that a lot. Mm-hmm. People say, you just sit at the computer because I have this the biggest screen in the office.
Yeah.
And everyone is just you're always looking at the website or social media. Yeah. Just people don't understand what exactly I do. Yeah. So some people are just curious and ask me what exactly do you do? Mm. Yeah. Some are just you just post on social media and that's what you do. Yeah, so that's
so much.
Yeah, and there's so much
goes into it. Yeah.
Trends are always changing. We have AI today. We have this trending. Mm-hmm. How do you keep up?
I like to keep myself abreast with what's going on and try to see how the organization and myself personally can fit into what's going on, just to make sure that I'm also keeping up, jumping onto trends and staying relevant in this constantly changing industry.
Mm-hmm. How would you encourage somebody that's just coming up and wants to be in media or communications?
I would encourage them to be authentic, be yourself, and make sure you have someone who at least has your back to guide you. I think that's what's helped me a lot in my career is having people who see your potential and see the good in you and encouraging you along the way. But just at the end of the day, just be authentic, be yourself. Don't try to copy what other people are doing because people will know. Even if they don't know that, okay, she copied from so-and-so, they'll know that this is, what is this? They will not resonate with what you're posting. So just be yourself and find what your story is and make sure you tell your story in the best way that you can.
So now what is being authentic? Because a company has its own values. They have their own way their brand wants to be perceived. But how do you stay authentic in that situation?
Obviously, then understand what your brand is within the organization, but also be true to yourself. So if, for example, you're asked to do something that you don't completely understand, see how you, as an authentic individual, can best bring out whatever it is that your challenge is in that situation.
Someone told me to say, there's a reason why they hired you to be in that position, and it's because of your authenticity or your story. That's a more reason why they hired you. So you have to bring your game and just see how you can merge both of those together. Moono, so this is called Duwit. Yeah, we don't just talk. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go walk through the journey of writing and publishing a book.
Okay.
Routes. I'm pronouncing that correctly.
It's roots.
Roots.
It's roots because, well, I say roots anyway, but it's roots because it's talking about Zambia's roots, like the roots of a tree, and the roots that we have taken since. So the routes that we have taken since. So it's a play on words. Yeah.
So I'm pronouncing it correctly when I say routes. Is it routes, this word?
It's roots. It's still roots because, some people do say routes, but with mine, you still have to say roots because it's both like the roots of a tree and the roots as in Manjila.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So we're going to go through the book, just your process of writing and, of course, the challenges that you face in writing these books. Looks amazing and I'm excited. Are you ready?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. On this segment, of course, like I said, I'm going to ask you some questions and then you're going to walk us through and our audience. For the book idea, of course, do you remember the moment that you came up with the idea for writing Roots? Quick reminder, if this conversation is helping you, press that subscribe button. It's free for you, but it helps us share these stories with so many people.
When I decided to write Roots I interviewed a young author who was my age and she had just written an autobiography. And, I was thinking to myself, like, you've written a book. And she was like, yeah, you can also write a book and you should write about yourself. But at the time I was 21. So personally, I felt like there wasn't much I had experienced. Like what story am I telling people? Yeah. So I thought about something that resonated with me. And that thing was tribalism, right? So when we spoke earlier, I told you about how I'm Bemba, but I have a Tonga mother. So my name is Moono. I have a Tonga mother and a Tonga name. So a lot of people assume I'm Tonga.
Yeah.
And because of that, I used to experience a lot of tribalism, which my brother, whose name is Chanda Chungu, it's the complete opposite.
So his experience was different.
Yes. Yeah. So I wanted to highlight what tribalism was, but also highlight the fact that in Zambia, first of all, our roots are rooted in one Zambia, one nation, and all of these things that Kaunda founded the nation on. And we were going against that by then becoming tribalist, So I wanted to highlight my experiences with tribalism and other people's experiences as well, and also just ultimately encourage people to embrace being one Zambia, one nation.
Did you tell your friend that you're going to write a book?
When she said it, I was like, okay, yeah. She's not even my friend, actually. At the time, I was working at the Post, and someone just said, oh, you like writing feature stories, interview this young lady. So in talking to her, she said, yeah, you should write. You should definitely write. So yeah, I did tell her in that moment, and I started to think about it after.
Yeah. So tell me the process of writing the books, like the first time you started writing.
So I was writing in university, actually. So what I would do was I would go to class, and then I would come back and I would sit in our common room, and I would just write. And I was also in a country where not many people knew much about Zambia. So I was also writing from the perspective of educating someone about Zambia. So it starts like sort of like a love song to Zambia. I speak about Mbala in the second paragraph, which is my dad's village. And yeah, I just highlighted all these things, talked about Kaunda and the freedom fighters, and then dived into now, okay, we have a pest in our country, that pest being tribalism. And I spoke about all the things that I've experienced, talked about who I am, who my brother is as well. Just highlighted how we have the same last name, same blood type, same villages of both maternal and paternal, but our experiences are completely different with these things simply because of our names.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the whole process. And it took me, I think, about 3 weeks to write everything. I was very excited.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fast. You write a lot.
Yeah, I used to write in that period, yeah.
So now when you talk about the way you were treated by other people, what specifically was that?
I had people, like I remember being on a bus and people just speaking ill of Tonga people. I once had an experience on Facebook where I commented on a post that was not political, and then someone came and responded, Imwaba Tonga. Then I was like, I'm actually Bemba. And they were like, why are you claiming to be Bemba? In my mind, I'm like, why would I claim to be Bemba? Like, and what is so superior about a Bemba that I would want to claim to be a Bemba? So it was those types of experiences, people calling you cows, and it doesn't help that my name is Moono. So yeah, having all those little subtle things, but also seeing how people would treat my mom. So that really just bugged me, and I just thought this is something that we need to rid ourselves of as a nation.
Ish, it's difficult, especially if you have both names, and it's really difficult. Okay, that's really sad, but I'm glad that you had to speak about it, because I think those are conversations that we need to have. Those are conversations we need to write about. Sometimes we may pretend that no, it's not happening, but it is actually happening to some people, and people need to hear this message. So now when you're writing, were these like scattered notes and then you had to put them together? How was that structure like in terms of putting everything together?
No, so before I even started writing, I already had the title. But even journalistically, that's how I am. I struggle to write articles if I don't have a title yet. So I had the title already. And then I literally knew, okay, first paragraph will be about this. It's a strategy that I learned in grade 8, I think, in English or literature. Basically, like, plan what you're going to be writing. So I knew what the chapters were called and what each chapter would talk about. And so everything flowed like that.
Did you have any mentors while you're writing this book, and how did they shape the final product, the book?
Well, my parents. So when I wrote it and I finally had finished everything, I sent my parents the book and I said, I'm an author, and then my mom went and printed it, and then she started editing it, So showing me like, oh, you should change this, you should change that. And a lot of the things I wrote in the book, again, there's a part of the book, I believe in the second chapter, which is called My Tribe, where I speak about Tonga and Bemba. There's a lot of similarities. Like in Tonga, you say for hospital, you say Jibadela. In Bemba, it's Chipatala. So all those similarities, there's some ways that are even exactly the same. So my mom helped me a lot there, because obviously she's bilingual. So she was helping me to show like there's actually not much of a difference between Bemba and Tonga. So my parents were of great influence to me during that time. I think mostly my mom during the creation of the manuscript.
Did you have an editor or someone that
Yes. So after my mom edited and I went through, we then got another editor. Her name is Natasha. And
Of course, you went through challenges. Tell me some of those challenges that you went through in writing the book.
The biggest challenge I would say was, so for starters, my parents initially said they would pay for the book. And then when I finished writing, my dad was like, you know what? I think you'll like it better if you pay yourself. So then I had to start saving. So I used to save my pocket money. And at the time I was also freelancing. So I would save all the money that I was making. And then once I finished everything, like now I had saved everything and I came to the end of it, I had graduated. And by the time I was graduating, having double majored in, so I have a degree in English literature. I do have another in journalism and media studies, but this one in literature, obviously at the end of it now, I had become a much better writer than I was initially. So I relooked the book and everything. And after all that process, you can imagine it took me 5 years to publish. And in the first year, I think even before I had actually started penning down the book, I sat down with a publisher and we had already discussed how much it would cost and everything. So I trusted him for all these 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. And he was my boss at some point. And then I paid him in full. Like once we got the editor, he even suggested the editor, got the editor, changed the graphics of the book, everything. I paid him in full. And he went quiet on me for about 8 months.
Wow.
I'm trying to release the video announcing I've got a book. And this guy is not giving me my books. Then he went quiet. Quiet. Police got involved. He even ended up getting arrested. It was so dramatic.
Wow.
I had to even publish with another person, but eventually he did give me the book. So that for me was a lot. Also the fact that I had paid him in full, and now I had to start from scratch basically. But it all worked out well. By the time I was publishing my book, I published it exactly a month before the 2021 elections. And, the reason why I was strategic about that also was, in my book, I speak about how during election period is when I feel like tribalism is heightened. And when I published it, you won't believe it, everyone who read the book said, this is such a timely book. So 5 years later, but it was timely. So even that for me was just such a good move.
Wow. It came out at that time. I guess the challenges, there's some light in there and some good in there to the challenges. Now speaking of course, that publisher who introduced you, what are some challenges when it comes to publishing in Zambia?
Well, I hope not many Zambian. I don't know a lot of people have faced what I faced, but that I would say would be the greatest one is getting someone who will deliver the product at the time that they say they will, and just the process of how you pay and all of that. And also, I think also getting the best publisher, really, like just making the book look nice. You know, people say don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
As an author and as a lover of literature, I judge books by their covers. So just making sure that your book grips people's attention for starters, and then gets them to read it, you know. So I think that would be the biggest challenge that personally I faced. And yeah, I think that others would also face. Even just finding a good publisher. Do you self-publish? Do you not? It's a whole discussion, and it can really stress you out. Yeah.
I don't think we have like a really good publisher in Zambia. I don't know. Maybe for now.
We do, but then now, how do you sell to them that, okay? And you know, for me, when I was publishing, I was so scared about so many things. Am I going to get arrested because of the things I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't turn out that way, but it's also the thing of who am I that someone is going to say, yes, this is a great book. Let's publish it for her. So self-publishing is usually the safer route to take, but I shouldn't discourage anyone. Maybe someone out there could have an easier path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you working on another book?
I am, but it's been on hold for the longest time. I need to get back to it. I need to figure out my way around work and everything. It's harder now because obviously then I was in school.
Yeah.
So you can create your time, you know. But then now it's been a bit hard, but I hope to be publishing another things.
Oh no, it's my publish also at the perfect time.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now looking back now, what impact has Roots had on you and the readers of the book?
You said earlier that it's good we're discussing these things because now not many people know about the dangers of tribalism or that it exists at all. So I think that's one thing I've enjoyed hearing people say is either thank you for sharing this or I didn't know that this was a thing, you know? So I think it's had that impact where we're talking about something that's real in our society. And, you know, when I published the book, so I'll just be honest, to be honest, the president is Tonga and took him a very long time to get to where he is. And prior to that, people had such a perception of Tonga people. So highlighting that actually a person is a person. Like we are not monolithic beings. Everybody's an individual. And you see, even me and my brother who have the same blood group and all of these things, we're different people, different careers, different personalities, and so on and so forth. So just shedding light on that and just trying to see how I could have created my impact and just encourage people to be one Zambia, one nation. This has also gave me the opportunity to, I met Kaunda actually, and I thanked him for, you know, one Zambia, one nation, that whole coining. And it's really impacted me in a very big way. Like it's opened so many doors for me, literally, even outside of literature. Like people now will hire me like, oh, can you copyright this? Big gigs. Kamala Harris and the president of Zambia viewed my copywriting.
Wow.
From this book, someone recommended me. I worked on a project with a guy. He then got me to do you know the panels at Mulungoshi? Those ones with the president. When you walk into, I'm behind that.
Oh, wow.
And that's the biggest gig I've ever gotten out of just someone saying, oh, she's actually a good writer. So yeah, it's really opened a lot of doors for me.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, it's now that's really interesting. I think that's the results of coming out of that shell or belittling yourself and saying, no, I can't do this because who am I to do this? I think even I heard you mention to say you were scared to even like maybe go to a publisher or like what will they think of me? I think when you just break that wall, it really gives you a lot of confidence and keeps you going. And now on LinkedIn, I see you post a lot of starting strong. Use the word strong a lot. Tell me about that.
So I actually first saw that from a former schoolmate, Chimemwe. And I think she was coining someone else. I think it's Tafazwa Beta. So I think she started it. So because of that, I'm like, every week we are starting strong, finishing strong. So just always keeping the momentum of never dropping the ball, regardless of what happens. Because you know you work. Work can be a lot sometimes. But you need to intentionally say, I'm starting the week strong, regardless of what comes my way. I will tackle it with everything in me. And I'll finish strong as well. I'm not going to drop the ball in the middle of the week because it's about to be the weekend. We're finishing strong.
Yeah, I like those posts. Keep them going. Yeah. All right, Moono, thank you so much for the project breakdown. I really like the process and also the book. I'm looking forward to reading it. And also the viewers, where can people find this book?
So I have all the copies. So people can message me either on Instagram, or LinkedIn, whichever platform. But yeah, Instagram would be quicker because then you can also see everything about the book. So on Instagram, it's Mutolankani, or just type Moono Chungu and I'll pop up.
Okay, showing right here. All right, thank you so much for the project breakdown. It's now time for the rapid fire questions, just to wrap it up.
Cool.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the project breakdown. It is now time for the rapid fire questions. So no long answers, no paragraphs, just short answers.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. The book you've reread the most?
Other than my book, it's We Need New Names by Novelet Bulawayo.
We Need New Names?
Yeah.
One tool or app you use every single day?
Microsoft Word and Canva.
Dream stage you would like to speak on?
TEDx. From my mouth to God's ears.
Mm-hmm. You get that. One word friends would use to describe you?
A vibe.
A vibe. All right, Moono, thank you so much. Those are the rapid fire questions. That was quick. I was really tempted to try and ask, after I gave every answer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you for one, for the book that you've read the most. Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, so the book it's called We Need New Names by Novelet Bulawayo. She is Zimbabwean, but lives in the US. And she writes this book that tells a story of someone who lives in Bulawayo, a young girl. And obviously, for me, what I love about that book is, first of all, it's very similar to Zambia. Zimbabwe, even though We Need New Names, there's names in there, like there's a child called Bastard. Yes, the pastor is called Bishop Mboro, which apparently is like, can I insult on here? Like, bad word? Mbolo?
Yeah.
Yes. And that's a pastor.
Really?
Yes. So it's all these weird names, but also that's something we have here. Like we like to laugh at people from the east, that even from the south, even from the north, like we have these weird names.
Okay.
But really, essentially, it's how Zimbabweans have been silenced. It's very rare for you to meet a Zimbabwean who lives in Zimbabwe and would tell you the truth about what's happening there, because they're scared, they can be killed, and so on and so forth, tortured. But she tells the story from a young person's perspective. So it's very honest. No, the Chinese people have come and they've taken over our land. I love it. It's great. Great. Love that book so much. Yeah.
Awesome. I would like to see that. All right. Thank you so much for the questions and the conversation. We should do this again.
We should.
Yeah. All right. So anything that you're working on, anything upcoming that you would like to talk about, or not yet?
Other than work, no. But hopefully I'll start something soon. My next book.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll get time to do that.
You shall. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. And where can people find you on social media?
So on my Instagram, Mutolankani. On Facebook, my page is Moono Chungu. LinkedIn, Moono Chungu, and I don't use X, but you can find me there.
Awesome. So thank you very much for this conversation. This was exciting, and just to get your perspective on tribalism and what's happening in the country, and also your field. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
I had fun.
All right, let's do it. All right, cool.